I need to talk about the conflict between my tears and my feelings for Stoicism. Um, there is a conflict there between those, but I don't feel that it is um, serious in that sense. It's more like I don't know how to put this in words because I have never uh, done so. But for me, it's kind of like I have this view that Stoicism is a it's a good foundation. It's a good foundation to build your character on, to build your uh, uh, observation, your approach to life on, because it makes you, it strengthens you to experience um, suffering and everything that might otherwise make you vulnerable, uh, weak, and perhaps impulsive. You know, I have the ADHD. I have it on paper, and I had problem with impulsivity before. I had problem with focus. I had problem with stress. I had problem with depression. And one thing I learned from searching for well-being in the psychedelic experience in, in my sessions, I learned that uh, the the best way for me, at least for me, the best way to experience uh, a sessional adventure was to uh, decide before the session started that this experience, I am gonna observe this experience. I am gonna observe. I am gonna reflect. I am not gonna engage um, myself too much in what is happening. And that was my uh, approach in the psychedelic domain. And that made me rather, I think I'm, I think that made me, it strengthened my mind to experience the psychedelic experience with this uh, mindset that made me not try to define, not try, I was not trying to define, I was not trying to engage, I was not caught up with what was happening. And in Stoicism, I that is kind of the same approach in some sense, because if if you if you decide that circumstances that you are not able to control, if those circumstances, if you decide and train yourself to 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 not let those uh, external circumstances take the better of your inner experience, you get to the point where observation is kind of similar to what I was using in the psychedelic domain. Mm. The thing though is that this, as as far as I understand it, this Stoic approach to life, it can be it can be sometimes it's your best friend. It's really your best friend. You are your best friend when you're in that conception of relating yourself to your environment. But for me, personally, for me, it gets kind of boring. It's kind of like, sometimes I just don't wanna experience the calmness. Sometimes I just don't wanna experience inner peace in that steadfast calmness way. Sometimes I don't want to have peace of mind. Sometimes I just wanna feel. I just wanna experience some kind of chaos, some kind of, and I am not saying that my tears are chaotic in any way, but just for me, continuity. For me, continuity gets kind of boring. So for me to leave the Stoic uh, approach, for me, and experience something more, because what I didn't tell you in the other video was that for me, this Stoic approach, it has enriched my life as well. But and it is a good, when I personally am able to be in that mindset. That is very helpful indeed. But making that mindset a continuity, it gets kind of boring for me, because I am primarily, I'm an adventurer, an explorer. I have this psychonaut inside me as well. I want to experience life, and experience also means researching the experiences of emotional states. So I kind of use the Stoics as a I aspire for Stoicism. I do. I see it as this life quest, this kind of hard journeys that will perhaps take a lifetime to realize. Perhaps even more. Perhaps a lifetime ain't enough. At least not for me. But I see it as this adventure. I see it as this expansion of self that is really useful and really I find value. I find a lot of values there that is both for the individual and for the collective and for society and for this planet and for however it gets kind of boring for me sometimes. You know how you want to take a weekend off, how you want to go on a journey. For me, my tears is that one expression for that, those exceptions that I believe enriches my life. So for me, I ain't either this or either that, but I find sense in using them in different means, but in different times. And I also think that, because Stoicism and Christianity, those are really, from what I learned, those two grew kind of at this from the same places, from kind of the same ages, eras in time. So they are, in some senses, perhaps, at least it's been debated how much they are, if they have influenced each other. And you know how Stoicism, it's courage, it's justice, it's wisdom, courage, justice, balance, wisdom. You know, the Christianity. I talked with an Christian man, and we were talking about this, and he told me that in Christianity they have it's kind of like the same courage, justice, balance, wisdom, but they have they have focus on love. What is it? Hope, faith, hope, and love. Faith, hope, and love. So they have, instead of the Stoic that has like these four virtues, Christianity seems to, at least from what I learned, they have kind of like seven. Not kind of like specified like that, but in practical terms. Uh, what was it called? Thomas, he wrote about both Christianity and Stoicism. I think it's has some chapters in the Bible. What is it? Thomas something. I can look it up. But then anyway, for me personally, because I ain't a Christian dude. I really ain't. I was told a long time ago that I shouldn't. 4 years old, I was told that don't listen to those people. Those they are telling a story, you know. So I was told as a child to see everything as a nice, good story. I do though believe that church, church, that's kind of like the only place in society, almost the only institution that are actively working to forgive debt, and I like that a lot. I like that really, really a lot, because society, we are sinking ourselves in debt, in so much. in so many ways. Uh, but enough talk. Enough of that. What I really wanted to tell you is that for me, the Stoic just discourage with balance wisdom. I am training myself on balance, both practically and mentally, uh, at the moment in my life. Um, but I believe that Stoicism could be enriched, some kind of some. I believe it could be enriched with some, not necessarily faith, but at least open the door for that, uh, or if the door might already be open, but at least for I think it could be contemplate, not, what is the word, enriched with more emphasis on love, especially specifically on love. um, I think that would make it more, at least that is my take on it. And if I really wanted to make it some kind of like the, uh, if I wanted to make it closer to Christianity, personally, I would um, I would make Stoicism and the psychedelic community. I would take those two and make them friends with each other, because then I would have these four virtues of Stoicism, and I would have in the psychedelic sessional point frames of life views. There I would have also faith, um, love, and well, I am thinking in Swedish here. I would have faith. I would have love. I would have mm, hope, because in the psychedelic experience you have this, you can have this you have this religious, you have this uh, spiritual spiritual experiences. So you have kind of like faith there. You have hope, because this is hope for a lot of people that are suffering with mental diseases. You have hope for communities coming together. You have hope for science and psychological. You have a lot of hope there. At least that is what I have found. I find hope that I find hope for in this wretched species that we are. I find hope to heal. I find hope for humanity. I find hope for our species. Uh, and you have love, because it's a primal, for many people. They find this expression of this experience of they are, at least I read about it and I experienced it myself, this experience of becoming all the cliches of you have heard of, becoming the experience of love is conquers all, love is all, everything is love. You really experience those kinds of cliches. At least a lot of people do. A lot of those who are searching, and that's also my experience. So Stoicism with the psychedelic community, that makes kind of like some kind of similarities to Christianity, without defining a God, without defining religious boundaries, without the necessity to demean other life views as unvaluable, unvalued. And this extra dimensional to the stoic four values. This is what I am talking about when I am talking about enriching stoicism, enriching with when I am talking about breaking continuity. And it could be experienced as tears from thinking about my Savior. It could be from however I get to that state. I don't see it as primarily a conflict with my stoics, with my good feelings and my amateur practical aspirations for the stoic values. I see it as something that are enriching when the necessity and when continuity gets boring, and even at times when it ain't boring, but I don't see it as you have to confine to either this state or either this state, or and if you cannot do this or that, you are a failure. I don't see it like that. I see it as I see stoicism kind of like a tool that sometimes it's kind of rather nice just to leave it be. Other times it's kind of like the state which I cannot, if I wanted to, get myself out of, because I really don't care at times. Even at times I wanna care, I cannot bring myself to do that. So, oh, this video got way too long, way too long. But that is some of my thoughts with this obvious conflict. That really, why are we always looking for the perfect conception of philosophy? Is that necessary? Must we always? Is it necessary to confine ourselves to success and failure regarding how we are able to at all times confine ourselves to our perspectives of life, of philosophical perspectives of life. I am missing the English word here, so you have to whatever.